at the same picture at the same time, see everything at the same time. Can you? You cannot. Because when we look like that with our eyes, with our five senses, we cannot see everything. How many things in our lives do we miss to see when we look at it this way, in our five senses? Because if we choose to understand the world only with our five senses, we see a very limited, very narrow reality. Because the five senses are, according to Kabbalah, five senses are illusion. We feel something one day and the other day we feel something else. To tap into the higher level of consciousness means to see the whole picture. So most of the time, our body consciousness, our lower level of consciousness, our body consciousness, wants to fulfill its desires immediately. The body consciousness could settle even for less. In order not to deal with challenges, problems, chaos, the body consciousness wants to fill it up immediately. But what happens? After a certain time, we feel empty. For example, let's say we sign a contract, a business contract, immediately. And then what we find out after some time, that the business is not a good business. Or let's say we meet someone, we are in love and we want to have, make a house together, we can even get married together, and then to find out that it wasn't the right partner. So what happened there? What happened is that our consciousness was limited. There were many veils and blockages that limited our real needs, our thoughts. We were blocked, there were veils. So in Kabbalah, gradually, the most important thing that we are going to learn is that slowly, step by step, we are going to learn how to remove these veils. So, now I want to speak about the 1% and the 99% of reality, which is if we imagine the life and the world being 100%. So if we operate from a lower level of consciousness, Kabbalists say that we only get connected to 1% of reality. But if we operate from a higher level of consciousness, then we can connect to 99% of reality. The 1% of reality is the five senses. I will show you like that. Is the five senses, time and space, coincidences, movement, body, what I see, illusion, feelings. But the 99% of reality is the unseen, the dreams, the thoughts, creativity, miracles, intuition, déjà vu, and purpose. So, then, what's the higher level of consciousness? The higher level of consciousness is to seeing the being able, having the capacity to see the whole picture. Not being selfish and thinking about only me, my thoughts, my needs, my thoughts, my feelings. It's not being selfish, it's seeing the whole picture. And it's when we are in a higher level of consciousness, it's not having veils and blockages that limit us to see things as they really are. So Kabbalists say that the higher level of consciousness, being in the higher level of consciousness, is tapping into our full potential. And this is the place where there's endless light. This is the place where we want to connect most of the time. And for this, in the center, in the Kabbalah Center, we'll do a lot of study. We will read of the writings of the Kabbalists, and we will also read the most essential text of Kabbalah, which is the main text of Kabbalah, which is the Zohar, written by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. We will do meditations, go to the events. Everything is all the tools and all the study will have, it will be, and all the sharings will have, it will be all in order to elevate our consciousness. So now I would like to, before we are going to do a small workshop, but before the workshop I want to speak about Rav and Karen. The Rav and Karen are the Kabbalists of our time, and they brought us the gift of Kabbalah, and they brought us Kabbalah in a very, very practical way. They opened the path to this ancient wisdom to millions of people in the world, and they brought the wisdom of Kabbalah in a way that could be understood by everybody and can be used by anyone in a very practical way. I had the privilege to meet the Rav and Karen and to see how they walk the talk. And also the uniqueness of the Kabbalah Center and all the teachers is that they bring us this ancient wisdom to us, to our everyday life. They bring us tools, they help us with the tools and how to use the tools in order to help us, to support us in our spiritual journey and to transform and change ourselves. So this is about Rav and Karen and the center. Now we are going to do a small workshop, and I want you to think about pick one area of your life which you don't feel so fulfilled and you don't feel that you use your potential, and pick one area in your life and think about what would it look like if you were operating in the higher level of consciousness in this area of your life. What would it look like if you were operating in a higher level of consciousness? And how would your life look like now? How would it be different? Just meditate on that, think about it, write for yourself. If you want, you can share with us. Okay, so I want to summarize what we did today. Today, we spoke about consciousness. We spoke about our desire to receive, that we all want to receive, but what we really want to receive is the real thing, something that will stay with us forever. We also talked about that we want to tap into the level of consciousness, to the 99%, to the higher level of consciousness. And we learned many new Kabbalistic terms together. So, now I want to give you an assignment for until we meet next time. And the assignment will be, check situations in your life and see from what level of consciousness are you operating. Any situation. Are you operating from a lower level of consciousness or a higher level of consciousness? So that will be your homework for next week. And I think that is all for the time being. I want to thank you very, very much for participating. I enjoyed very much being with you, and I wish you good luck on your path. Thank you. Bye-bye all.